Hi, I'm Dr. Shen with Jubilee Clinical Research. I want to welcome you to our place, and I just wanted to take this time to explain what clinical research is about, to give you an idea of what we're doing here and what the clinical trials are about. By doing what we do, this is part of essential part of the practice of medicine. Without clinical trials, there wouldn't be literally be no prescriptions that doctors can write. Our work with thousands of clinical researchers around the world enables physicians to write their orders, whether it may be prescriptions to lab orders to even ordering medical devices. Everything that the physician writes has to be approved by the regulatory authorities like the FDA. And so, so what we do is very, very important. It allows us to have brand new therapies, improvements on the existing therapies. So it is crucial that we continue to develop these new cutting edge uh, therapies. And so one of the misconceptions that people have a lot about clinical research is about safety. A lot of people ask me, well, aren't you using humans as guinea pigs? And this is a common misconception that people have. And I usually answer them by saying, no, we're, uh, we're not doing that. We actually did that on guinea pigs about 10 years ago when, when this medication began to be researched. And so usually, medications take about 10 years for them to come to the market from start to finish. And the animal testings are very, very early on. And by the time it gets to this level of testing, it is at the tail end of the process where we only have maybe a couple years left before the FDA approves it for the public use. And by the way, the medicines that we use during clinical trials are FDA approved for humans during clinical trial period. So um, everything is very tightly regulated, and people may still, be uncomfortable. Well, yes, it is the guinea pig testing stage as was a long time ago, but is it safe? And I answer that by saying, it's actually probably safer than going to see a doctor sometimes, depending on how your doctor practices medicine. But usually, when patients come to doctors' offices, we usually prescribe them 6 months worth of medicines or so, especially if it's a chronic condition and they're stable on it and whatnot. And people just go to doctors infrequently, and during that time, um, nobody knows how you're doing. But in during clinical trials, we are obligated to monitor you very tightly, very closely. So whenever we see you here, usually about on a monthly basis, we do all kinds of blood work, all kinds of testing to ensure your safety. And so it's almost like getting a full annual physical on a monthly basis. So we know at any given moment in time how all your organ system is doing, and we monitor you very, very closely. And so it is very safe, and we're very accessible as well. We can be reached at any time, and I'll even see you the same day if needed. But we always make sure that you're completely safe. Um, I, um, I use this analogy to kind of give you an idea of what 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 to compare the safety issue is. I I compare it to driving a car. We all drive cars fully knowing that there's a potential for us to get into a motor vehicular accident, and it may even lead to death from that if it's severe enough. And so there's even a risk of dying from driving a car, but nobody stopped driving because of it, right? Because the risk of that is very, very low unless you happen to drive during midnight on New Year's Eve or something like that. Otherwise, it's relatively safe. It doesn't stop us from going to places, going to work, or going to the supermarket. If we do, then it just wouldn't make sense, right? Wouldn't make sense to stop driving a car because of the small risk that it poses. So it's kind of like that. It's always a risk versus benefit assessment whenever you take medicine, not just during clinical trials, but from regular doctor's office prescriptions as well. The benefits far outweigh the risk involved. And so that's the reason why we go ahead and have patients try the medications that we have, which is amazing medications. We tend to have these dramatic efficacies in clinical trials um, because the medications that pharmaceutical companies are developing has to be the best, better than what's already exists. Otherwise, the medication wouldn't be prescribed. So we tend to have all these medications that are amazing, that have dramatic results. And for the first time, some of our patients are having real difference, and their life is changed as a result of the dramatic efficacy of these medications. And I can't wait for you to get involved, and because you're not only treating yourself when you participate in a clinical trial, you're not only treating your own condition, but also you just might save somebody's life in the future because of your participation. It allowed the brand new therapy to be approved by the FDA and make a tremendous amount of difference in somebody's life, not just quality of life, but also sometimes even preventing death as a result of the work that we are doing together. And I want to thank you for your willingness to participate in that effort. Thank you so much.